Hello, goodbye, and hello again. Welcome back to Drifter Carbon and to another Minecraft texture pack review. Today we're taking a look at Paragon Resource Pack by Paragonia. It is a whopping 1,170 mine coins, which is a lot of money for a texture pack. It has a size of 15 megabytes, so it's not huge. It's, you know, reasonable size for something with custom models. The description reads, "Greetings, adventurer. Bestow upon your worlds the enchanting transformation of Paragon, where every block tells a story. Whether you are battling dragons, crafting potions, or building your next masterpiece, experience a tapestry of vibrant textures that breathe life into every brick and beast. HD 32x art style. Medieval fantasy theme, custom item and mob models." That's interesting. So this one actually has some custom item models as well, which we will check out some of those when we start looking at the pack. But we'll go down here and look at the avatars real quick. These are the characters that it comes with. Pretty basic, but you know, I guess if you want to look like a normal person, then these two would be fine, or these three would be fine. He looks kind of like he's wearing a merchant hat, and there's a skeleton, and I'm assuming, yeah, a zombie. Yeah, that's what those look like. All right, let's go ahead and if you haven't seen one of these videos before, how this works is I show off all the textures and then I give it a score and give my final thoughts. So let's go ahead and jump on into the texture pack review world. Okay, here we are in the texture pack review world. Let me go ahead and show off. Okay, this is what a snowball looks like. It's a cube. The wind charge, I think, might be too new. That's looking like it's the default wind charge. So that kind of tells us how old this pack is. We will see whether it's new enough to have the sniffer in it here in a few minutes. But anyway, one of the main draws of this pack is the fact that it has custom models for like the tools and some of the items. And it also has a 3D model of things in buckets. So we've got the axolotl here. This is the second pack that we've seen do that, but I think this one actually came first. I think this came out before the animation actions and stuff pack that I looked at a while back. So this, but I think this one is just as much, if not more, than that was. So, you know, keep that in mind. Keep the price in mind when looking at this pack. We'll go ahead and set off a firework as well, which has a 3D model. That's what the firework looks like in this pack. I'm just doing those things first because that way I can replace those slots in my inventory with other things. But I want to show off like the pickaxe has a 3D model and stuff, which is always fun when somebody bothers to do that. I've only seen a couple of packs do that. But let's look at things that grow first. So these are all of the trees. The baby trees are kind of cute. The mushrooms. Here's crops. That's what the crops look like. Stuff in the back there is too new. I added in, well, actually, I think the dead bush might be custom, but I added in some things from the latest update recently. So, you know, they're not gonna. Most of them aren't going to be showing up in this pack, but as custom. But it is new enough to have a custom pitcher plant, so that's good. That's kind of one of the criteria of which I judge something is how long ago was it updated, and if it's so old that you don't have custom pitcher plant and therefore the sniffer and stuff, that's what I would consider to be too old. So here we have flowers. The things in the front are too new. Those were just added. That's what the flowers look like. They're fine. Interesting approach to the leaves here. It's like not as dense of leaves. They're kind of very see-through unless you have multiple layers of it in a row. So I don't particularly like that. I like having it look like a full tree, or like a you know, I'm not sure that I'm not a huge fan of being able to see through the leaves that easily. The spacing just seems kind of odd. The that stuff's too new, obviously. Here's the giant mushrooms. Here's logs and planks. Some good textures on the logs, I would say. And there's the planks. Oh, that's kind of interesting. There's like a little swirl on this one. Kind of blue wood there. Fun. Doesn't look like... Oh wait, actually, this does have variations within certain textures. Because look, there's this one here where the boards are separated from each other. There's the normal one, and there's ones with nails in some of the boards. So this does have some variety within some of the textures, which is always nice to see. Not a lot of packs put in that extra effort. Here's dirt, sand, gravel, and moss. Sorry, I didn't mean to get that close to it. Look at it from above, because it's a different texture on the top than on the side on some of those blocks. Here's the suspicious sand and suspicious gravel. You can tell the difference if you're paying close attention. Sandstone. Some nice sandstones there. Here's stone and stuff. I think this pack is going to be usable in terms of, like, you know, the different stones and the different blocks. Here's polished stone. It's good that they're not just like color swaps of one pattern. There's actually different things going on with the different stone. Cobblestones, bricks. Here's stone bricks, blocks, etc. Cool. I'm liking the aesthetic so far. I think you could build a nice house with any of these, really. Here's glass. Oh, nice. We have variety on the glass. We have it's not all just the same texture with different color. There's actually some creative design going on here. And most of the blocks are still reasonably easy to see through. So that's good. And the clear glass is nice and clear. I do love when they leave at least one of the blocks unobstructed by, like, trim. Very nice. I do like that glass. That's one of the better things in the pack so far. Here's wool. Nice wool pattern. Concrete powder. Here's concrete. Cool. There's actually, like, different designs on each of the concrete things. That's crazy. We've only seen that a couple of times as well. Terracotta. Here's the glazed terracotta. These are some nice glazed terracotta. You got some like this could be used to make a path. Some of these could be tile floors. Very cool, very cool. Here's ores. Nice and easy to see the ores. Always love to see that. The readability of ore is one of the criteria that I judge a pack on. Like, you want to be able to mine easily, and I think this would work great. Nether ore, deep slate ore, same as the regular. In terms of readability, it's nice and readable. Here's amethyst, the random lonely magma block, and it is animated. It glows. The sponge and dry sponge, the wet sponge and dry sponge, you can tell the difference between the two of them. Here's light sources. I do love the lanterns. I've actually got a lantern in my hand, or in my inventory, I mean. Let me go ahead and put some of those in my slots that I had other things before. The carrot was one of the custom models. The bone has a 3D model. The stick. What else was there? The shears was one of them. Put all of those things back in my inventory later. But yeah, as you can see, the lantern has a nice 3D model to it. Looks like you're holding a lantern. It doesn't have your hand and holding it like it did in the animated texture pack, but the carrot has a nice 3D model to it as well. The bone. So if you're feeding your dog, you know, that it doesn't just look like a 2D texture. The stick has a 3D model, and so do the shears. Do the shears have an animation to them when you... No, they don't. Okay. That's fine. I wasn't expecting it to. That's neat. Yeah, these are too new. The pack has not been updated since the Tricky Trials stuff was added. Here's the campfires. Miscellaneous light sources. That's cool. That's kind of glowing. A little bit of simplistic animation on some of these blocks. Here's the signs. The font is pretty readable, I'd say, especially up close. The X's look a little strange, but you know, I think this is fine. The font is acceptable. It's usable. Monster spawner. Here's fences and gates. I hope this pack gets updated at some point. That would be cool to see the new stuff in it. Diamond, lapis, gold, emerald, and redstone blocks. There's a couple of textures here. They're not all identical to each other. These three are very similar, but you know. Here's raw copper, gold, and iron. There's the iron block. The lodestone looks very different from the default lodestone. They just made some changes to the lodestone. They made it easier to craft. Here's the prismarine, the slime block. That's dating this video if you're watching this later. I'm excited. I'm always excited when there's an update. So I tend to mention things that were just updated, even though that kind of, you know, won't be as relevant later. The honey, the slime block, the hay bale. Nice textures on all of these things. The bone block. Here's the quartz. I do like these quartz. Very nice. Very, they look like nicely chiseled building blocks there. Copper. The top ones are too new, but these are custom. Here's the ladder. Here's the doors. The top row is too new. These are nice doors, but I would prefer more of them have a you know, a window in it. Nice that some of them have a way to see through it, but I'm used to like some of these doors have windows by default in the default texture pack, but they are nicely designed. Some of these are really pretty doors. A pack can live or die by its doors, as I always say. Here's trapdoors. I say these are usable. You know, you could use many of these as a end cap to a couch or a table. I mean, not a table. Obviously, not a table. I mean like a couch or a bench. Here's bookcases, etc. And there is variation on the bookcases as well. Awesome, awesome. You're definitely getting some bonus points for the variations. Here's the enchanting table. I would like to see somebody do something wildly different with the enchanting table one of these days. I've not really seen much going on with custom enchanting tables. Here's the beds. They are custom. Unfortunately, they are Z-fighting. That's what this is called. This glitchiness here is because the geometry is custom and the headboards are like overlapping with each other. But aside from that, these are nice beds, and they have custom geometry, which I do love to see. Looks like it's the same pattern on all of them. They're just different colors, which is fine. I just prefer when they have some custom bedspreads or whatever, but I'm not going to complain too much when they've bothered to give it a special geometry. Here's the crafting tables and villager job tables. Okay, these are too similar to each other, I feel. I'm not as huge of a fan of this design choice, because I like being able to tell immediately what the different tables are. Like the cartography table, you can tell what it is. It's got a map on it, but like this is the Fletcher's table or whatever, I think. And that's the crafting table, and they look very similar to each other. They're just different colors. So that's disappointing. Also, the block cutter doesn't seem to have a blade. What's going on with that? I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Here's the furnaces. These are fine. Here's anvils. You can definitely tell how damaged your anvil is. Love to see it. It's easier than a lot of packs, actually, because it's a lighter color on the iron on the anvil. There's the oh, what do you call it? Grindstone. Here's the cauldrons. That's lava. This is a potion. They don't seem to be animated. I guess the lava is slightly changing, maybe. Barely, if at all. Here's the different chests. The trap chest is a completely different color, which I'm not a huge fan of. I prefer not being able to tell whether a chest is trapped, but I do like the overall aesthetic of them. And this is a nice inner chest. The barrel, jukebox and note block, kind of cool, I guess. Empty armor stand. The beacon looks nice. The bell, that's a very nice, very aesthetic beacon. Here's the iron bars. Let's look at some paintings. The top 2 rows are too new, unfortunately. That's another disappointing thing about not having been updated since the Tricky Trials came out, because the extra paintings aren't going to be custom. But I do like the look of the ones that are custom. This is nice stuff. Very cool. Yeah, I think all of these are great. Excellent. Okay, item frames. Here's the rails. You can definitely tell the difference between the different rails. Always nice to be nice and readable from a distance. When you're editing your rails, you want to know what's what. Here's things in minecarts. That's what the TNT looks like. It has an X on it. That's a sheep in a minecart. Here's redstone stuff. Okay, yeah, I do like the redstone stuff. Here's the pottery. It does look like we have custom pottery. Ooh, and we have some very special pottery, in fact. That's cool. They not only do they have custom designs and stuff, but there's also like extra patterning, like they've glazed the pots in the center. Very neat. That's some of the better looking pots that we've seen. Those are too new. Here's scaffolding, banners. The banners do have a fabric texture to them. Here's the boats. Doesn't look like the boats got custom geometry. I may be mistaken on that, but that's okay. No, yeah, okay, it's the default geometry. Here is the tough, only one of which is new. Trial spawners are too new. Resin is too new. There's the target. Here's the mob heads. Kind of strange that the player head doesn't have a face on it. It kind of looks like a training dummy head or something. That's what the other ones look like. That's the dragon egg. I added that very recently. Okay, let's go ahead and jump on back. Alrighty, let's look at the sky for a second. That's what the sun looks like in this pack. And the clouds does have custom clouds, and the custom clouds are actually functioning in this pack. Some of the older packs, the clouds get all glitchy and weird, but this one seems to be working fine because it's not too old. Let's look at some. Oh, did I have any other items that were? Oh yeah, I'll stick the rotten flesh in my hand. I'll show off the sword, even though I'm gonna look at that later too. I think the bone meal has a custom model. I think Totem of Undying might be custom, and the chorus fruit was also custom. So this is what a sword looks like in your hand. Here's the chorus fruit. And it has, you know, it's not just a 2D object. Here's the Totem of Undying. Very nice. Some bone meal. Looks like just a rock or a lump of clay or dirt. And the rotten flesh is also not flat, you know. So that's nice. Let's look at the armors. Here are, I'm going to take the rotten flesh out of my hand. Here's the armor and the different swords, which all have different geometry. Very nice. Love to see it. This is so far kind of earning its price. Like a lot of packs that are this expensive, I end up thinking that they're not really worth the price. But you know, if you like the overall look of this pack, and I do so far, then I feel like it might be justified to spend, you know, $7 or $8 or whatever on it. Especially if you could get it on sale sometime, though, that would be extra worth it. I do like these armors, and they're different geometry. They're not all identical to each other. We've seen this kind of design in other packs before, like with the crown on the gold armor and stuff. But these are nice examples of doing that thing. I do like the netherite armor as well. Nice accents and stuff. Here is the elytra and the shield. Looks like there's one kind of pumpkin, one kind of jack-o'-lantern. They didn't have variety on that one. The turtle shell is like a scuba mask or something, or a gas mask or whatever. I'm assuming a scuba mask because it's a turtle shell. There's the trident. Here's the bow. This is too new. Let's look at some armor trims, and it does look like they have custom armor trims for their custom armors, which is very nice. These are, as always, these are amethyst armor trims on iron armor. Nice to see different patterning on, you know, the oh, what do you call the banner that you stick on the front of your armor? Your bib, your baby bib, if you will. Your nighty baby bib. Yes, there you go. That's what it's called. Surely that's what King Arthur would call it. But these are nice armor trims. That's cool. I'm kind of curious what the armor trims look like on the other armors as well, but I don't have those set up. These two are too new. But you know, even though they're new and this is custom geometry, the trims don't look too bad on the custom armor, I would say. Oh, we should look at the backs of these too, because they're different on the back. Cool. Do love some good armor trims. Let's look at the items and tools. All of the tools have custom geometry, but I'm probably not going to show off each and every one of them today. But that's the icons are nice on these. I do love the pixel art on the icons as well. That's the compass. That's the, no, is this the regular compass or the respawn compass? I think that must be the respawn compass, because this looks like totally different from that one. I'm assuming this is the regular compass. Yes, because north is always staying the same, but this one, yeah, I think I have that right. Respawn, normal compass, moving on. Here's the horns. Well, I'm wondering if that has custom geometry as well. We'll see that when I go to the other world. Here are potions, which also have custom bottles, but we'll look at those later. Carrots and foods, various food items. You can tell what almost all of these items are just at a glance. Like, it might be a little harder to tell the difference between the different fish, but that's, you know, they're sushi, basically, raw fish. You know. Here's the music discs. Those are 2 new. Things in buckets, all of which have custom geometry. Let's grab something in a bucket to show it off. I already showed off the whatchamacallits, but the axolotls. But these other fish also have. We'll do the tropical fish just for the fun of it. See, it's looking at you. You got a little bucket buddy. I like when you can have a bucket buddy. This is only the second pack with bucket buddies. Here's minerals. Here's so the books. I think the books also have custom geometry. I'm just going off of what the description showed in its preview images, but if you want to see the rest of those, you can look at the pack itself. The pack's description shows off some of those custom models. Okay, let's look at mobs. Here's what a bench or a couch would look like. Here's what a water cooler would look like. Here's the nether portal. It just kind of has... It's kind of transparent and glowing red instead of having an actual animation to it, but that's fine. Start with the chickens. The warm and cold chickens, I did add these in, but they're not going to be custom this pack. But if you haven't seen the warm or cold chicken yet, these are default. These are in the default game now. They're vanilla chickens of differing kinds. But here's the regular chickens that are custom, but not dramatically custom. The bee has a different geometry to it. It's very small. It's not huge. I think that's probably a more realistic looking bee, actually, than the default bee. Here's the cow. I don't have the warm or cold cow or pig yet, because for some reason the command to spawn those guys in on Bedrock isn't working right now. They need to fix that before I can add those into this world. But here's the cow and the pig. Look pretty close to default, actually. They may actually be default. I hope they're not. But they look like the default. Just to my eyes. Here's the sheep. They look different. So the sheep look different. Here's the wolf and wolf armor. Very nice. The polar bear. Here's the ocelot. Says black little eyes. The cat. Nice to see a nice variety of cats. Here's the mushroom. That's what the mushroom looks like. The bat. Is this the custom default bat? I'm assuming it is, but I may be mistaken. The parrots. Doesn't look like all of the mobs have custom geometry, but some of them do. Here's the parrots. They look pretty similar to default, just with more texture on their feathers. The rabbit. Those are cute rabbits. Yeah. Very nice. Here's the llamas. Fun llamas. The horses and horse armor. That horse just looks to be almost like it's made out of wood or clay or something, or like it's pink. The donkey and mule. They do have nice manes and tails. Skeleton horse and zombie horse. Look nice. Cool, cool. The zombie horse is kind of skinny, but he otherwise looks like just a green horse. He's not super zombified, so if you're looking for a pack that doesn't have a scary horse, then I guess this one would fit the bill. Here's the tropical fish. The cod. These are nice cod. I do like that. Nice detailed, nice big eyes. Very cute. The puffer fish. Let me punch a puffer fish. Looks like, actually, it looks like they look like they're, are they actually, it's like they're puffing up without me punching them today. That's different. That's weird. Maybe they changed the way that pufferfish work, like they go by proximity now instead of just puffing up when they're injured. They don't seem to be doing it when I'm far away from them, but if I get close, then they start puffing up. Okay, cool. I don't have to punch my pufferfish anymore. Here's the salmon. Yes, I say it wrong on purpose. They're cute. Similar to the other fish. They have these nice big eyes. The dolphin. Very cloudy water today. Here's what the dolphin looks like. Pretty cute. The turtle. Looks like the default geometry on the turtle, but nice patterning. The panda. Not much personality on this panda's face. Here's the fox. Pretty cute. The creeper. A less intimidating looking creeper. Wonder if that's going to be a theme with the whole pack, is that things aren't as scary as they are by default. We're going to look at the Enderman out here. Come here, Enderman. Don't run away from me. Face me, Enderman. Okay, that's what the Endermen look like. I'm not going to waste any more time trying to chase one down. We will see them up close and personal later anyway. Here's the silverfish. The skeleton. These bows are very thick. I'm not sure I like the appearance of the bows, but the rest of the tools and weapons are nice. The wither skeleton. I do like the swords. Here's the stray. The slime has eyeballs. Spider and cave spider. There you go. They have different patterning on them. They're not identical to each other. Very, very rare to see spider and cave spider that aren't just like color swaps of each other. The zombie, gonna fly over here to get a better look at him. He has no mouth. Or I guess he has, maybe he has a mouth, but he doesn't have a very defined mouth. The bogged is too new, unfortunately. The husk, gonna have to fly over here again. Oh, now you're coming over here, huh? You better not be heading back to the back again. Yeah, you punk. Come on, turn around. I'm not moving. You're gonna come this way. You're gonna come towards me, not the other way around. We're not playing that game today, Husk. There you go. The Husk looks very similar to the zombie. The drowned looks very different, though. They're kind of a fish person instead of just a water zombie. Back up a bit. I want to get a better look at you. Very cool. Awesome. Reminds me of that one persona. Here's the squid and glow squid. Very nice. Not, I don't think that's custom geometry, but they have a nice patterning to them. Especially the glow squid. The witch. That's what the witch looks like. It doesn't have a witch nose. It just looks like a normal person. It happens to be a witch. Here's the guardian and elder guardian. Ooh, these guys are kind of cool and like covered in barnacles, and their tails are like veins or like roots, kind of like they're some sort of underwater plant golem or something. The endermite needs to be spawned in. There's the endermite. Pretty good looking endermite. Here's the magma slime, magma cube, sorry, not magma slime, magma cube. Turn around this way. I can't see your face. There you go. Just got square eyes. The Strider. Cool, cool. Yeah, step out of the lava for a second, Strider. Let's see what you look like normally when you're not in the lava. Get out of the lava! You're making me burn! Oh well. It's okay. Guess we don't have to see them when they're not in the lava. Here's the Zoglin, the zombified Hoglin. Yeah, I think that they're going for kind of a more kid-friendly theme on some of the zombified things. Here's the oh my goodness, the zombie piglin has kind of an issue with his weapon. The brute seems to be working fine, but the crossbow is not working with this zombie. Is it because the crossbow has like custom geometry or something? I'm assuming that's the case, and it's just clashing with not being in a human hand. But these zombie piglins are definitely spooky enough, I would say. They don't really look like, well, I guess they kind of look like pigmen. They've got tusks. They're just not as monstrous as, not as pig-like as I'm used to. Here's the goats. The axolotls. You're moving around too fast. I can't get a good look at you. There you go. Okay, there we go. That's better. Yeah. Cute axolotls. Here's the allay. They have different wings than usual. Cool, cool. I think overall the aesthetic is nice on all of the mobs. Here's the frog. Wandering Trader is going to need to be spawned in. That's what the Wandering Trader looks like. Does look like the avatar that comes with this pack. Also, if you've not seen the custom spawn eggs yet, they're default, but they've all got like more personality now, and it's easier to tell which spawn egg is which just at a glance. So these are not a feature of this pack. These are just what the spawn eggs look like now. If you've not seen them, I guess I could go ahead and show you. I think those are nature. Yeah, the mob eggs. Here's what all of the different mob eggs look like. That's default in the normal texture pack. Here's the camels. The blaze. That's kind of a cool blaze. Here is the ghast. Get a better look at its face later. It doesn't seem to be facing me at any point. We'll see them later when we... Okay, yeah, there you go. You kind of got a look at it. It's not a very complex face. Here's the shulkers. They just have eyes. The Vindicator doesn't have much of a face to him either. I'm seeing a theme with the humanoid enemies, or enemy, I mean, not enemies necessarily, but mobs. All the humanoid mobs don't have much of a face. It's almost like they're going for that teen style, like the teen avatars. Here's the villagers. Do we have more than one villager face? We don't. That's disappointing in a pack that has variety in other aspects. There are nice outfits though. I do like the different outfits on the villagers. Here's the zombie villagers. There you go. They're just kind of green people. The phantom. I tried to stick a glass ceiling on the phantom, but it catches fire when exposed to sunlight. Here's the pillager. Just looks like the evoker. The ravager. Ravager has kind of a rhino vibe going to it. I guess it's always kind of a rhino, but I mean more so today. But it doesn't have like a horn sticking out of the front of its nose. It's just kind of got a pattern, but still pretty cool. And it's got its horn, so I guess, you know, maybe it's more like a triceratops than a rhino. But still cute. Here's the iron golem and the damaged iron golem. You can tell which one is damaged. Cool, cool. Hold on a second, I gotta adjust myself here. Here we go. Snow golem and snow golem with its pumpkin carved off. I just had to stand up and sit back down. Yeah, cute faces on the snow golem. Here's the sniffer. Nice to see a custom sniffer. Oh, he actually found a seed. Hey, that's cool. What kind of seed did you find? Which one is this? My inventory is full. I can't pick it up. Or did I? Did I pick it up? I don't seem to have picked it up. Oh well. Anyway. The armadillo is too new. So that kind of tells us exactly when this pack was last updated. It has the sniffer, but not the armadillo. So it's nice to have these two next to each other because they were relatively close to each other in terms of when their updates came out. There weren't too many updates in between them. The warden is gone again. I have to spawn in the warden. There you go. Nice to have a custom warden. With a flashing heart on its chest. Cool, cool. So new enough to have the warden. The breeze is too new. Here is the wither. Face over this way, wither. There you go. It's kind of just got a skull motif. One of its skulls is cracked. Nice to have some variety between the different heads. Cool. I like that. That's neat. Neat design on the wither there. I mean the yeah, yes, the wither. And the creaking is too new. Okay, let's go check out the nether. All right, this is the nether. We already looked at the nether portal. Here's the regular hoglins. No, non-zombified hoglins. They look like the zombie hoglins, just with different coloring. Here's the respawn anchor. The piglins, non-zombified piglins. Do we have more than one model on the piglin? I guess we do, actually. They're kind of similar to each other, but this one's got like a split down its front. And a skull belt buckle and a chain. Okay, so these are different from each other. Different enough. Cool, cool. That's what the axe looks like as well. Didn't show off the custom geometry on the axe. Go check out one of these ghast up here. Come here, ghast. Quit facing away from me. There you go. That's what they look like. Nether looks pretty nice. Get a better look at that lava. Not much of an animation to the lava. No animation at all that I can tell. Gonna fly out here to a different biome. Always try to come out here because there's a leaf texture that we don't normally get to see. There you go. This is what the trees look like in the nether. Cool, cool. Okay, let's go to the stronghold below template world. Also, here's what the respawn anchor looks like when it's powered up in this pack. I kept forgetting to go ahead and power one of them up, but that's what it looks like. You can tell the difference between the lit and non-lit one for sure. All right. Okay, here we are in the stronghold below template world. If you want to create a world very similar to this one, just when you're creating a new world from scratch, next to where you would have the custom seed, there's a button you can click for templates, and this one's called Stronghold Below. It has a stronghold right here. We will go down in that in a minute, but I wanted to show off some of the overworld in this pack. Oh yeah, I do have the cold cow and the cold pig in this world because I was able to spawn them in because this is a cold biome. So that's what they look like, but that's the default cold cow and cold pig. This pack has not been updated recently enough to have those. Very little, if anything, has. Here's the here's what a villager house looks like in this biome. I've got a horn in my hand and it has custom geometry. The sound is the same as usual though. Here's the crossbow. The crossbow does not work. Looks very strange. Like it's got custom geometry, but when it animates, it goes back to being the 2D model and flies up like out of your hand into the... I'm not trying to shoot at the rabbit, by the way. That just happened to be near where I was aiming. I already showed off a sword in the hand. The torch looks pretty normal in the hand. Here's... Oh, I thought the potions had custom like 3D geometry, but I guess not. That's what the swirlies look like in this pack. The pumpkin pie seems to have custom geometry, but it has no eating animation. Bottle of Enchanting. The Bottle of Enchanting has a 3D model. I don't know why the other ones didn't. That's what the experience orbs look like. Cool, cool. And the Eye of the Ender also has a 3D model. Are these villagers different from the other villagers? Probably not. Let's go ahead and fly. Oh, here's a composter, if you care. Fly over to this village, this abandoned village over here to show off the cobweb. Went a little too far. There you go. Cobweb looks like. I think the weakest part of this whole pack is the leaves, in my opinion. The well, maybe the villager villager faces and the villager job tables were also kind of a weak point. But here's the abandoned portal. These are what the abandoned villager houses look like in this pack. There's frozen water, there's ice. Very similar pattern, they're just different consistency, different transparency levels. Go ahead and jump on down into the stronghold here. Okie dokie. I should really fill that hole at some point. Yeah, the bars are nice and easy to see through. That's what a monster spawner with a monster in it looks like. Pick this in here. That's the end portal. Let's go ahead and jump in. Cool, cool. That's the Endermen have a nice aesthetic to them, with their glowy, veiny hands and feet. Fly up here, look at the End Crystal, and then the Ender Dragon. Cool. Oh, the energy on the Ender Dragon is kind of interesting in this pack. Here's what the Ender Dragon looks like. Get up close and personal with it. Oh, I didn't mean to punch it. Oh well, it's an enemy. It's a bad guy, or bad gal. I think the Ender Dragon. But most people will refer to the Ender Dragon as female because it lays an egg. Anyway, but I like the look of the Ender Dragon. That's a pretty cool pattern for the Ender Dragon. Okay, my final thoughts on this pack. I'm a fan of this pack. I think this is a well designed and well constructed pack for the most part. I'm gonna give it like a 4.8 out of 5 stars, because there were some things that I felt could have been better, but you know, the overall it has a consistent theme, consistent aesthetics. throughout the whole pack, and all the blocks look nice, and most of the mobs look nice. And it does have some, you know, the added bonus of some of the items, inventory items, have 3D models to them, which is very cool. I didn't have anything else in my inventory that I wanted to look at, did I? Do the arrows have a custom geometry? No, doesn't look like they do. Anyway, yeah, so I think that this pack is probably worth the asking price. Like, I really struggle to pay that much for, like, over 1,000 mine coins for any texture pack that doesn't have something extra special about it, like you know, animations or something crazy about it. And I do think that having the 3D models on a lot of the items does kind of, you know, make it fit in a category where I could see myself paying that much for it. But honestly, like, if you had to choose between this and the actions and stuff pack, they have some very similar things in them in terms of, like, the custom geometry on items and stuff. But I do feel like the actions and stuff pack is where I would spend my money if I was only going to buy one of them, because that one has all of the animations on top of being an excellent texture pack and having custom geometry and bucket pals and stuff. But if you already own that one, or if you are just if you prefer the aesthetics in this pack, then this is also a perfectly acceptable pack, perfectly fine pack. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, if this helped you, then please leave it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I am still trying to grow my channel little by little. I've pretty soon, I'm hoping I'll have 200 subscribers, which is not much in the grand scheme of things, but it's a heck of a lot better than what I had for years there before I started doing Minecraft videos. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's already subscribed, and stick around. And if you would like to be notified when my videos come out, make sure to click the bell and tell it to notify you. Yeah, so thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. Peace. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share. Drifter Garden was filmed in front of an undead studio.